Well, this morning I'd like to introduce our presenter for the day. And she's no stranger to you in face and in name. Martha Ban has catapulted the North American Division education system from what it was, paper pencil, to what it now is, a fully robust organization that is adept with technology usage, and there's nothing, no stone left unturned. I give all the credit to Martha. It was a growing pain for many of our school entities, and you are shaking your heads, yes, yes. But when COVID hit, we were in many regards more ready than the public schools in the United States because Martha withstood the test of time in terms of pushback and comfort level with doing things the way we were accustomed to doing. So just want to give you a little bit, something that you don't know about her outside of seeing her emails that she sends to superintendents, and it comes down to you. Martha Astor Ban is a dedicated Adventist educator with a lifelong passion for teaching and integrating technology into education. She began her teaching journey as an 8th grade tutor for first graders, fostering a love for education from an early age. She holds a BS in elementary education from Atlantic Union College, an MED in education with a focus on reading, and a graduate certificate in instructional technology from Farmington State College. Martha has taught various age groups from pre-kindergarten to college. So Martha is a teacher. She understands. Martha's technology experience includes 1- and 2-room schools, which sparked her deep commitment to supporting overworked teachers. Her favorite age group to teach was grades 5 through 8. Way to go for those middle school, as she found the content engaging and the students dynamic, to say the least. Martha served as the editor and writer for the Atlantic Union Teacher Bulletin. How many of you have seen the teacher? Most of the teachers probably would be familiar, and the superintendents, with the Teacher Bulletin, and played vital roles as a curriculum specialist, webmaster, and instructor at Griggs International Academy, where we now are. After approximately 30 years of classroom experience, and she doesn't look more than 10 years of classroom experience, she looks very young, Martha transitioned to her current role as the Director of Technology for Education at the North American Division of Seventh-day Adventists. Her primary focus is advancing technology in education, demonstrating her unwavering dedication to supporting NAD educators in utilizing technology effectively. She manages platforms such as AE Connect, she'll tell you more about it, AE Dashboard, Data Rollup, E-Certification, and AE Educators Corner. Martha also serves on the Griggs International Academy Board. It just comes out. Beyond her professional life, Martha's interests include technology integration with learning, camping, gardening, model railroading, and reading. She loves spending quality time with her husband, Jerry, who recently retired, no ideas, as the Associate Director of Education for the Mid-America Union Conference, and their 2 adult children. Caitlin is a veterinary anesthesiologist at MedVet Cincinnati in Ohio, and Christopher is a senior software engineer for CDK Global in Portland, Oregon. Along with Martha's mom, 2 cats, 2 dogs, and a fish, Martha and Jerry reside in Harrison, Tennessee, fully immersed in the world of Adventist education. No joke, fully immersed. Thank you, Martha, for your service to us.
Well, that was horrible.
The time is now yours.
Well, thanks. We could have used that extra 5 minutes. It is a pleasure to be here. I have not been here for a long time to the Lake Union. I spent some time with Griggs yesterday, and we figured out, I think it was maybe 8 years since I've been here. I always think it's fun to talk about ties, close ties to where I am. So when I was in college, my older sister got a job. The interview took place in Logan Airport, and the principal of the esteemed academy got off the plane, and this was in the days, long time ago, mind you, because we could go right to the gate. That's where the interview was, at the gate. And the gentleman came off from the jet bridge, and I'm in college. I'm sitting on the railing, just having a good time watching people. He comes over to me with his hand outstretched to introduce himself. Rondi Ostrup, I'm Wes Schultz. And it's like, over there. My older sister Rondi just retired, 3 years ago, retired from 43 years in Adventist education as an English teacher, VP for academics. At the time, Thunderbird. Her first job was at Cedar Lake Academy. So when I was in college, I would come out and spend the last 3 weeks of school with Rondi at Cedar Lake and help her finish things up. I learned to speed on the nice straight roads in Michigan. And I had all kinds of fun. My uncle, Alvin Astrup, was superintendent in Michigan Conference. He has lots of stories to tell. He now lives in Shreveport, Louisiana. My grandfather was president of Southwestern Adventist Junior College back in the 1920s. My dad retired from being an Adventist educator, principal, after, he went out on early medical retirement, but about almost 40 years of Adventist education. My sister, Lauren, who is an artist and a musician, who said, I will never teach, taught art, home ec, PE in our school system. My mom is a nurse educator. Our daughter, Katie, who swore she would never teach, now mentors anesthesia residents. So seriously, you cut me, I bleed Adventist education. My sister Rondi says it's in our DNA, and I truly believe that. So one other last tie, I teach for Griggs. Yes, I do. I teach keyboarding. And so I did confess my second job, because we're not supposed to moonlight, because we get so much money in our paycheck that we don't need to moonlight. But I did confess to our current VP of Education, Elder Alex Bryant, when we talked about that new policy that they really tied everyone down to you can't have a second job. I said, but I teach keyboarding for Griggs. And he thought that would be okay. So I've been approved. But really, my passion is just education. And I know I send you a lot of emails. I know I send you a lot of information. And hopefully by the end of today, more of that will make sense. Just out of curiosity, how many are new to the Adventist system in whatever role you have within the last 3 years? Okay. How about new since 2015? Like all those hands that were up there should still be up, should go up again. So the reason I ask is because data roll-up really came into existence in 2011, 2012. And I think it was maybe, Sherry, I think you were probably at one of those meetings when we went around. We did 3 training sessions, East Coast, Mid, West Coast, to try and help the conferences understand about data. And that was a long time ago. Yeah. So sometimes when I jump in and start talking about things, I realize that maybe you have not a clue of what I'm talking about. So I just want to say, if there's any time that you just are lost, please holler at me and say, hang on, I don't get it. All right? Ruth and I started talking about this workshop quite a bit ago, and I don't know about you, but I work by my calendar. I work by deadlines, and usually for things like this, because things are so a fast pace with what I do and new initiatives and changes, I don't do my slides until maybe the week before, and certainly by the night before or morning of, because I'm always reviewing, well, who's coming, who am I going to need to address, how long have they been there. So my good friend Ruth here asked me for an agenda and a handout. It's like, and that was what, June? So I put her off, and she kept asking me, and then I did something, and then Camporee hit, and we all died, and then, I don't know. Yeah. So this may look like things are out of order, but being in the classroom, I know that you have to keep coming back and hitting at points of information in order to kick it into long-term memory. So I used to say, please close your laptops. Don't have anything else open. I want you to pay attention. But in all honesty, if you have your laptop, I'd like you to follow along. However you learn best, if it's by doing, like me, I'm not auditory at all, and you can tell me and it will go in here, and it may not even stick in the middle, it just exits, unless I do something with it. I think the older I get, the more ADD I get, more ADHD I get, more whatever. And so whatever it's going to do to help you to try and retain this, do it. Don't leave, though, because that won't help. All right. I like to have fun. Sometimes I have a weird sense of humor. I don't mean to pick on any of you. Please, please don't be offended by anything that might come out of my mouth, because it's not intended. When we talk about errors, I don't mean to pick on any one conference or school. Obviously, I am picking on Lake Union because that's where we are. So this is data survival for Lake Union Conference administrators, and it is the 29th. So we got that right. These are some things that I would like to cover with you. We have many recent launches of different things that I'm going to review with you. I'm going to talk to you about data dependencies, lovingly referred to in my head as the NAD data pipeline. When Data Rollup emerged back in the 2011, 2012, I did feel like I had a target on my back. It was a very rough experience for me. I had come from teaching in the classroom. So I don't have conference experience. I don't have union experience. I just have people experience and a lot of data experience and classroom experience. And so I used to love the fact that I didn't do politics, Adventist politics, because I didn't need to. And then I learned that I had to. So it has been very painful. I think that we are in a good place now with data. We have, I would say, probably about 95% accuracy with our data roll-up reports, which is a huge thing because it hadn't always been that way. But we're going to talk about the data pipeline because the data is really not NADs at all. We are a conduit for actually the student. The student is at the heart of all of it. We'll talk about e-certification because Sue's here. We'll talk about eAdventist because eAdventist is one of our bosses, and you'll see why. Talk about the benefits for Accreditrack and how having stellar data in your schools can help you with your accreditation visits. We'll talk about partner campuses. How many of you are at a school that partners with another school campus? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about who's in the club. We have many clubs. So you'll wait and find out who those clubs are. We're going to talk about support, and we'll talk about go take a deeper dive into data roll-up. So that's just some of the fun we're going to have. All right, some recent launches. We're going to first talk about AE Connect. You should have gotten one of these. Did you get one? No? Were you late? Well, I think they're out there because I brought a bunch. Please don't take, I need to save some for Griggs over there. Otherwise, they may not invite me back. But these are little screwdrivers. I wanted to do something unique because we've done stress balls. We're all stressed out, and those don't, my dog likes them. But anyway, so this is to help you to remember about AE Connect. Do I have any AE Connect schools in this room? Okay, yes. All right, we're going to talk about AE Connect a little bit. And so on the screwdriver, there's the website that you can go to learn more about it. And just to let you know, and I'll probably tell you another time, yeah, I will, but I'll tell you now, there's a course in the ALC, in the Adventist Learning Community now that can help your teachers walk through and you guys and learn more about AE Connect. So we're going to go to that website that I just told you about. This is on our new platform. This kind of ties into another new initiative. We moved the content of our website over to a new platform. It's really exciting for me because it is a content managed database website. And that probably doesn't matter to you. It matters a big deal to me because that means I can wake up early in the morning and say, I didn't put that in there, and I can go and I can add it all by my lonesome. And I love that because I don't like to wait. So this way I don't have to. So AE Connect, this will tell you what this is. So if you're not familiar with AE Connect, this is the student information system that is being developed by and owned by the North American Division. That's a big deal. This is the biggest piece of software our church has put out in North American Division. We've done accounting packages. Some of your schools may use Aussie.net. We have another accounting package that's called School Treasury Systems. That's for elementary schools, and I hope that that you guys are familiar with that. But we've never done something like this. And I'll give you a little bit of background on this. Jupyter and FACS had been the two approved student information systems for our system. FACS used to be RenWeb, and people still call it RenWeb, but it hasn't been RenWeb for years. It's owned by Nelnet, which is in Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, I know, change is hard. So both FACS and Jupyter have, from the beginning of Data Rollup, done customizations for us. In FACS, it's a little convoluted. You have user-defined fields. When we don't use fields anymore, they don't always take them away, and so you're still filling those out even though you don't need to. But they don't charge us. Jupyter has it another way. Jupyter is very streamlined. You go to a data rollup window, and everything that you need to fill in for data rollup is there. They don't charge us either. About 4 years ago, we had a school system, 3 schools, large schools, that wanted to move to Jupyter. The senior academy had been using PowerSchool. The elementary and the middle school had been very happy with Jupyter, and so the campuses were merging, and so they needed to use one student information system, and so they felt that they could use Jupyter because the elementary and middle school had been so happy with Jupyter. Around that time, we had all of this breakout in the world with gender. And so Jupyter updated their online registration for the schools that used that one to include more than male and female. And so what does that mean for the parent? The parent of the schools log in to register their student online, and they see these different gender options that are more than male and female. And they said, this is not okay. And they contacted the school and said, how can you do that? That's totally not what we believe as Seventh-day Adventists. Doesn't follow what we believe. And came to me. The parent said, if you're going to use that software, we are not enrolling our kids. And it spread. They stood to lose quite a number of students. I went head-to-head with the president of Jupyter, and the president did research, and he came back and he said, I looked into many of the websites for your schools, and you are not even all on the same page with who you accept or don't accept according to your websites and your manuals. So why does it matter? And he said, take it as an opportunity to tell what you do believe. Well, okay, I can see that. However, when in discussion with our NAD team and with NAD administration, we felt that was the breaking point. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back, the one that said, hey, you know what? Our teachers are overworked and overwhelmed already. We need to provide something that speaks to our values and that we can totally customize for us and forget about the world. And so that started that process. We met for about 2 years with focus groups. One of your Michigan one-room teachers, Rachel, was on almost every single focus group Wednesday and Thursday for an hour, sometimes 2 hours. because the focus groups was made up of teachers, one-room school teachers, two-room, three-room, four-room, conference administrative assistants, conference superintendents, union directors. We wanted everybody's feedback. And it was with our designer, with Matthew McVeigh, who is the owner and creative designer for Guildhouse Group, who's doing the development. Rachel, she was just so true, and she would say, you can't do that. In a one-room school, that will never work. She was honest. She had, 7 grades and I don't know how many kids. And a lot of my experience was also 1- and 2-room school. My last year in one school, I had all 8 grades and I had 26 students. So I know about the load. The thing that we have with our system, last year we had 719 schools. I think this year, I don't have official numbers, I think we have 721. We've had schools closed because they can't find teachers. We've had schools closed because they can't find students. But 55%, and this has been a pretty standard percentage, 55% of our schools are 1-, 2-, or 3-room schools. So one of the purposes, a huge purpose of this student information system was to cater to the multi-grade teacher. And so we've done that. And for those of you who are familiar with it, with report cards, we have the TKK grade scale. We have the 1 and 2, and we have the 3 to 8. And in Jupyter and in FACS, you have to have different grade books for each of those. With AE Connect, you can do one assignment, and you can deploy that over as many classes as you want, over as many grade levels as you want. And so then everything is in one page so that you can enter grades just right there, your whole one-room school. We deployed it last year with 110 schools for grades pre-K-8. We had some glitches along the way because, as I say, even Apple and Microsoft can deploy something that they have tested and tested and tested and thought was bug-proof, and then guess what? Nope, not bug-proof. And also, even though we had focus groups for almost 2 years of all these educators, they weren't the ones necessarily who were using it. And so we had new people that came in and said, well, wait a minute, where's this? And why don't you have this? And you're looking at it and said, oh, I don't know, why don't we? AE Connect has a team of developers that work worldwide. So somebody is always awake and always working on AE Connect. Why does that matter to you? It matters to me. I now live in the East Coast, and our main developer for Data Rollup is in the UK, and so he's always 5 hours difference from me. But Matthew, Guildhouse, they're at Pacific. They're out of Walla Walla. And so I'm always having to wait. Are they up yet? Why aren't they up? I need them. And it works both ways, because last night I was talking with them at 10, and it's like, wait, I want to go to sleep. So we always are on point. And that's the other beauty of AE Connect, because just like that, we can make an update and push a fix. With FACS, we usually wait several months to get something rolled out. Their school numbers are dropping. So we also don't know how much longer they're going to do things for us at no cost. So that's something that you all need to be aware of. With AE Connect, and I'm not going to talk much longer about this because it's really something that if you're interested in learning more, I'd like to do an hour show and tell with you. I think it's worth an hour of your time to take a look at it. And like I said, there's a course on ALC. I also have a 20-minute video that you can share with teachers just to see. But on this part of our website, you'll see all the different things. The pricing. Last year, we gave everyone a price of $5 per student for the year, and all of the teachers who were engaged, who used it the full year, got, I can't remember, Sue, how many CEUs, because it was a new thing that they were learning. Part of the frustration that fed into onboarding with the new SIS, if you think back, we had educators convention. And so educators came back from that on an emotional high and full out exhausted, and then started school, and then started learning to use a new student information system. And so there was quite a bit of stress, of drama because I know what it's like to start a new school year. Anyway, forget about coming back from convention and starting something new. So first quarter was rough. We've learned a lot. I say together we've made it better. And some of the tears that we had from educators in the first quarter because the server crashed during the first quarter report card, that was pretty harsh. Lessons were learned. The developers are on it. By the way, all of our data is stored in the NAD cloud. It is secure. It is encrypted like you would not believe. And they also are available around the clock. So for schools that went through last year with us, they got it for $5 because it was a work in progress. And they got CEU, recertification credit. This year, it's $8 a student for the year. It has a static online registration. So for Jupiter, you have to pay for any kind of online registration. We're not here to make money. We're actually losing money. We've put millions of dollars into this, but we do it because of you guys. That's the only reason. This comes out of NAD administration funding, not out of our education budget. So the $8 a student, and then this year it's $15 a student for the 9 to 12. We've onboarded the academy, the high school features, and we have a fully robust customizable enrollment package registration. So you can customize your own forms, you can generate your own letters, you can set up timelines so that when the parent first submits an interest, a letter goes out, and then after they've filled out the first form, then another letter goes out. We will be introducing something where they can make a payment, so they can pay the registration fee. NAD Treasury is working on that. And so this year for the high schools that are using that, it's $15 a student for the year. Next year it will be $25, and it will sit there. We want to charge under what Jupiter does, and certainly under what FACS does, but it is a fully robust pre-K 12 student information system. And we are looking to see how we can add early childhoods, our preschools, for our school systems that have the preschools in their building. So that's AE Connect. If you are interested in learning more and taking a deeper dive, one of the things that we learned very clearly with last year, conferences, please do not make your schools all move to a student information system because it's not really a good idea. We had one conference that did that, and boy, do we all wish that they hadn't, because then you have teachers that aren't vested in it. So that was one lesson, a hard lesson. Another lesson was that we are now requiring that the teachers all sit through a show and tell, an hour of a show and tell, so that they see what it looks like. The schools, a good share of the teachers that started it, were using it last year. They expected it to be identical to Jupiter. Most of those schools were ones that had used Jupiter, and that's what they expected to see, was Jupiter. It's like, but we're not Jupiter. We're better. Let go of Jupiter, and this is new. So we ask that you spend an hour with your teachers to just do a show and tell. Fawn Farr is our project manager, and she and I do the show and tell together, and it's a lot of fun. Well, I think it's fun. So if you're interested, please let me know, and we're happy to investigate with you. The question has been asked, will NAD ever make us use AE Connect? And the answer is no. We want you to have the choice, but we do feel that we can bring so much more added value to you and to your schools that you will want to make that switch. We are not integrated with a financial package this year. The plan is by the end of September, the NAD Treasury will have a payment portal ready. Do any of you use School Pay? Do you know about School Pay? Oh, well, good, because it's going away. Oh, you do. Well, School Pay is old software, and it's being redone, and it's going to be called maybe Adventist School Pay. I don't know what it's being called. But it should be ready by the end of September, so I've been told, so that schools will have be able to set up an account, and you can actually start taking registration fees or things through that. The idea with AE Connect is that it will be fully integrated into the parent portal, So the parent will log into their portal and they'll be able to pay varsity fees, registration, tuition, hot lunch, because it will just be a path to, it will take them directly to their account in either OSSI.net or STS, School Treasury System. So that's what you'll want to encourage your schools to move to if they want a fully financial integrated package. I have let NAD Treasury and NAD Admin Administration know that until we have that robust integration, they should not expect us to have the larger schools, because that doesn't make any sense. So that's where we're going with that. I will stop talking specifically about it, but it's going to come up. Just know it's going to come up throughout the rest of the day. Because of the integrations from AE Connect into Data Rollup, I spoke from the very beginning, overwhelming, overworked educators, administrators. I understand about going to bed with 0 errors in Data Rollup and waking up to 50,000 errors. And AE Connect is working to make that all go away for you, okay? All right, so we'll go back to here. Wow, that was a long one, huh? But you got a screwdriver set out of it. So, okay, the next new thing, and these are not in any order, I don't think, is find a school. This is one of my favorite. I have lots of favorites, so I shouldn't say that. This is one of the things I have fun doing. So 2 years ago, I think, I sent an email out at the worst time ever. It was like, what, September? Asking schools to fill out a form for a school profile. And schools are like, are you kidding me? Because we have other things to do. And it's like, yeah, but this is really good. It helps you. On our website, we have this thing that's called Schools. This is a place where we help your schools with marketing. Now imagine, because this is coming, I know, if you heard what Ruth said, my son is a software engineer. I know that software development is like road construction or prophetic time. You know it's coming. But when, right? So imagine here an integrated map where you can just click and see what schools are there. Anyway, apparently that's a hard thing to do. Also imagine right here you can search by postal code. You can search by state/province. Coming soon, I don't know when. Coming soon is another filter called distance learning. Yeah, you like that. Because that will help Jeannie, who's not even here, Griggs, and also Inspire, Aspire, and West Coast, anyway, our other distance learning schools. Because one of our distance learning schools said to me, well, this is great, I love this, but how does it help us to recruit from, people who aren't within our IP address is what it really is. It's like, oh, well, that's a good idea. So I'm going to go here, show you how it works. We'll take state and we'll go down here to Michigan, because that's where we are, and we'll search. Now, here's the thing. Oh, you guys. This is painful. Okay, so you see that this is very lovely with the name of the school, has your address, and it has what school type you are, right? That comes in from any ideas? Because I haven't covered this in class yet. Where does that come from? eAdventist. Okay. So this looks pretty boring, doesn't it? And look, if we go to, I don't know, let's go to Andrews Academy. Yeah, look, I think it's fun. So we go to, you get the name, and you get a lovely map, and you get the name and the address and the website. Cool. Yeah, but you know what? Check this out. So let's go to way down here. Wow. Okay, so we'll go to Edenville. That's where Rachel was, right? So now look. Here's what happens when you fill out the Google form and you send me the profile information. You have a tagline, Bible-based academic service and exploration. You have your logo. You have an introduction paragraph, a longer, if I go back here, you get a short 25-word introduction, and then when I click into it, then you have a 75-word opportunity, and you can add pictures. Isn't that a whole lot more interesting? You have 3 content sections that you can populate. And what's cool is this drives you right to the school's website. So if you have different pages, oh, come on, go. There you go. If you have different pages on your website, it will take the user directly to that page. Why is that cool? That means because it's on your back to update your website. And so we're not always having old information. Yeah, we're going to have old pictures unless you get me new pictures. But the website link will take it right to your website. And so this is how we help you. All right, there's another integration I'll show you about in a minute. But you can see that when you go down to the bottom, well, Rachel didn't have any. Let's see. We'll go to Griggs. I begged and begged for this one. So, and that's good. I have a picture, and we have some information. But also, we can populate with your social media links. So, when I send up follow-up information, I will include the link to your profile. And conferences, I will tell you that some conferences, I think they got tired of me sending out the email saying, can you get your schools? So they're actually doing it. I have 2 conferences who are doing it for their schools. They just ask them for the pictures and the information, and they do that. So whatever, yes?
So I'm from Aspire Academy.
Yeah.
And I had this issue with Sherry this year because it shows that we're PK to 12 high school.
Oh, yeah, but you are.
But we're not, so we actually call us thinking that we were advancing for the conference for school, and I'm sure Sherry wants to teach me.
That's tricky.
So I don't know, is there a way to update that? I know you said that online remote learning would be there.
Yeah, distance learning will be there, and you can certainly put that in when you give me your introduction, when you give me your content, you can certainly put that in there. This information here, I will tell you, comes from, yeah, I shouldn't have gone that way. Let's just go here and go to, we'll just choose another state. Let's go to Illinois. So these here are the eAdventist buckets. So you only get pre-K 8, pre-K 10, 9 to 12, pre-K 12.
I can't get updated before or after to the school.
You can talk to your director of ed, and she will bring a request to the union directors.
Thank you, Dr. Horton.
So put that request in writing that you want to customize this, and then she'll bring it to, we have a September meeting, and we can get that on the agenda because it's quick, and they may say no. But just know that I don't, and that's my motto. That's how I got my job. It never hurts to ask. Be careful what you ask for. But the union directors are the ones who yay or nay. So none of these things are my discretion when it comes to data. Okay? But these clearly, this comes right in from eAdventist. It's a nightly sync. Yeah. And as far as the location, that's also an eAdventist thing because location comes from eAdventist, so you'll want to check what's in there. Yeah, and with distance, it's hard because I guess you could.
It is hard because we are a Michigan conference school, so we have to have the
Yeah.
But it confused family to me.
So I'm thinking that you might be able to talk to Rob Garvin, the guy at eAdventist, and say, hey, we're a conference school, and maybe he can pinpoint just the conference geolocation and make it that way. It's worth a shot. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good question. Anyway, so you want to just take a look at your schools and see. Illinois has more populated, so that's good. But just know that your preschools also have the opportunity to do this. Yes?
How do we go about getting the picture and paragraph?
So it's a form. It's a Google form, and I'll send the link to Dr. Horton, to Ruth, and she'll send that out to you after today's meeting. And so you can upload the graphics, the pictures to the Google. It gives you a spot to upload. It's all there. And then going forward, by the way, I'm not always going to be your best friend on this because while I do find it very interesting, I have a lot of fun doing this because I see a lot of things. I see a lot of horrible, horrible websites you wouldn't believe. But with this, we will be moving this off, Will, to the school so that the school can go in and edit like we've done with the job site conferences. So you'll be able to go in and make your own edits and upload your own pictures. But right now, I'm your best friend for that. All right, we're never going to get out of this page, this section, so we're going to keep going. So that was Find a School. And again, it's marketing. And I'll show you another tie-in. So here's our new career site. And this I love because conferences can make their own edits. And if you are a school principal and you have gotten that permission from the conference to post your own jobs, you also can make your own edits. And so there is a place to sign in. And I don't think I'm going to take the time to do that. So I don't post any jobs. Let's see what it does. I've tried to post jobs, but I've been told I can't have an assistant, so I get dogs. Anyway, here's what happens with this. When the person who posts the jobs also gets the interests. So if you post a job for Andrews Academy, oh, well, that's we won't use you, no. When you post a school for, who else is here, Battle Creek? If you post a job, then with your account, then you are the one who gets those resumes. The person contacts you, and then you can yay or nay them. So that's something that we've done. And it also gives an opportunity for the person to put in a reference so that you can start your reference checking. Another thing that's good with here, and let's see. I don't know if this, so. If the conference posts the jobs, then it would go to the conference office.
Oh, so it wouldn't if you did?
Yeah, if you post a job under your account, it goes to you. It goes to the person who posts the job, who creates the account. We don't typically just let anybody post that doesn't have a conference role, and so we've asked the conference to give us a list of who they have approved to be able to do their own posting. We had a you know how rules are made because you learn the hard way. And we had a school board chair of a early childhood center post a job. And she had a Gmail. That will not happen again. Anyway, here's another integration. You'll see that this school here has a sidebar, and it's pretty boring, right? So let's see if I can find one. I'm not going to search for all day, but believe me. But when you, let's see if I've seen, here, Campion. When I look at one that has a profile, you'll see it pulls in their logo and it pulls in their introduction and takes you right to the website. So that's, again, that profile is another way to help market and provide additional information to people who are exploring your schools. Another neat thing that we've done here, and that's up at the top, it's called Voices of Adventist Educators. There's also a Why I Teach, and we'll see if this is going to play. This was filmed at convention, and I know it's not coming through there, it's coming through here. But I'm not going to play the whole thing. You have to do it on your own.
Hi, my name's...
Hi. So, because I want you to go back and explore yourself. We're trying to get people to understand what's so awesome about being an Adventist educator. And so with here, we have the Why I Teach video. There are two. ALC did them for us, and they're pretty cool. I don't know if any of you were in those videos. But the other thing that we have here are Voices of Adventist Educators. We asked conferences and unions to submit names of people that they felt were outstanding educators and had a story to tell. And so that's what we've done here. And you can see the profiles. And so we have somebody that does content writing for us. She sends out a list of questions. The individual answers those questions, and then they work back and forth. And we ask for their picture and whatnot. These stories are incredible. And so I want to tell you, if you have a story to share about why you are an Adventist educator, or if you know somebody that you feel has a story to share, please put them in touch with me so that we can get them added. We have probably about 30 in here. Right now, you just scroll I guess that this is official now that I can tell you. Let's see. Oh, well, here's my sister. That not nepotism at all. I did not nominate her. Somebody else did. But I will tell you that, where is he? Well, no, I can't find him. We are going to put a search here so I can, oh, here we go. For those of you that know Dennis Plubel, he was an outstanding educator. He now currently is our interim VP for education. Arnie decided to make another, well, anyway, we won't talk about Arnie. But Dennis officially will start September 1. And so I didn't say in all of the drama about the summer, but clearly we've had a really hard summer. Dennis, if you want to read his profile, is an incredible educator. Tried to retire after 45 years, and we brought him back. So he will be our interim VP. Anyway, that's fun to read through some incredible stories. If you have a story to share, please don't hesitate. And now, I want to take you to another place. And so the last initiative that I'm going to share about this morning is our new website. NAD got a new committee called the Digital Strategies Committee, and somehow I got put on it. And so the North American Division is working very hard to have a strategy for digital media, for digital ministries. And we took a tally of all the websites under North American Division, not nadadventist.org, but I'm talking about all the ministries. Education, youth ministry, ministerial, ministry magazine, all of them. And there were over 500 websites. And it's like, well, who knows where to go and for what? How do you navigate and how do you find what you're looking for? And I said, we have a really good website. You go one place and then somebody said to me, but how do you find anything in there? We had 33 websites that were all linked to our one Adventist Education. And you're absolutely right. Unless you knew what you were looking for, you didn't know where to go. And if you were a new teacher or a new administrator, that wasn't a place to start because you couldn't really find anything. And you could just go to Google and ask Google, or now ask AI. So we've reimagined our website. We also realized our website had been designed out of crisis because something happens like COVID. And where do you put your information for COVID protocols? Well, let's put it on our website, and we need to have it really clear. So that wasn't the best way because we weren't being intentional about layout and about thinking about how to access things. We also realized that our website was pretty messed up with if you're a parent, if you're somebody that's looking for Adventist education, or if you're a teacher looking for resources. And so we're saying, okay, this makes no sense, we need to start new. And so we did. A couple years ago, we pushed out this, which was the front-facing part of our website. And so now when you go here, you learn about the transforming power of Adventist education. And you learn about the why, the what, and the how. And that actually ties into Journey to Excellence, doesn't it? And we had a meeting with the directors, and looking at the new website, and they're saying, you know what, we talk to our people all the time about J2E, but how do you get to it? What's the easiest way to get to it? And what does the common person know about it? So when you go back here, here's the opportunity, A Journey to Excellence. And this part right here is written for the public-facing congregation, the regular person off the street who's not an Adventist educator. And so this is very streamlined, that tells about who we are as an Adventist system. Why do we have our school system? You know, the Baptists, they're also a Christian system. You know, the Catholic is a good system, but what's unique about the Adventist school system? And so this is our framework. So when you go a little deeper into here, we do have a fourth panel coming that will talk about the Office of Education. So right now this is kind of hybrid. So we have Adventist education, and then when you come over here to the Educators Corner, this is for you guys. Development. Soon and very soon, you will have to log in using your dashboard credentials. Why? So that we can tailor this dashboard to you. If you are a 7th grade science teacher, you will see 7th grade science resources right here. That way you're not having to try and figure out where to go for what. If you're a conference administrator, those things will be deployed on your dashboard because we know, how do we know what you teach or what you do, guys? What happens every night? There's this thing called an import. So for the school level, because you use a data roll-up approved student information system, we know what the educator is teaching, what grades. There also will be a place for you to opt in for other resource levels and subjects, but that will be the driving thing. So this will be behind a secure login. The NAD Strategies, Digital Strategies is also redesigning the NAD Adventist website to model this, because I talked to them about this. I said, you know, we need to the NAD Adventist website is also a mess. You can't find anything, and if you want to know who does what, you have to go through pages of people. And anyway, so we also are redesigning and having a login so that if you are a conference person, you'll log in and get conference resources that are pertinent from the NAD. Yeah.
Martha, I have a little concern about that, because now my teacher is going to be logging in and I don't see what they're looking at. Is there a way that I'm going to be able to log in as them to see what they're looking at?
You mean for the resources?
Well, yeah, because I direct people all the time, like, you got to click here, go here, and now you're here. But now if I'm not seeing what they're seeing, I can't direct them.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay.
That's valid. We can talk about that. Yeah. So the Educator's Corner, I'm just going to share Streamline. There is an ALC course for this. If you want to go through and see everything that we've added, it will get your teachers CEUs. Sue will tell you if they can be recertified with those or not, because that's out of above my pay grade. But here's how this works. This menu up here, the top navigation always sticks. So you always can get to the main website, to the schools, to the corner, and to the careers. The secondary nav also sticks. So this is always going to be here. So our Journey to Excellence, our About Us, our schools, early childhood, multi-grade, which we've added, because remember, 55% of our schools fit in this. So we want to make sure that we have resources for them. Curriculum, and then educators. So I'm hoping it's intuitive. Journey to Excellence is about our framework. Journey to Excellence. About Us is about our team at the office. It's about anything that's specific. When I click here, you'll see this. So there's About Adventist Education, the Office of Education, that's our team at the building. Statistics, Caring Heart Awards, some frequently asked questions, and then a link to our newsletters. I hope you know about them. That's coming. Oh, for those of you who are really paying attention, I have a prize at the end. It's a document camera, and it's pretty cool. Okay. The next section is our schools. So these are things that are common to all of our schools. There's a section now for accreditation. It's pretty abbreviated. We're working at populating that, but this is a helpful site that maybe if you have some states asking questions about accreditation, that's a place where you can go. There's a link to AE Connect because it's specific to schools. Cognitive Genesis is a research that never goes away. It's still true. It's a little outdated. We are working at redoing that, running it again, but the data is still pertinent. There's Equity, Diversity, and Accountability. It's a case study by Auburn Adventist Academy that was pretty substantial. That's there for conferences and schools to look at. And then school safety comes to us directly from Adventist Risk Management. We like to go directly to the source. So risk management monitors this page and gives me updates. Okay? I will tell you here that if you're interested in their newsletter, you can subscribe to the Risk Management Solutions newsletter. So that's available there. The other section here is brand standards. I'm going to show this to you because I will tell you that there was a push from the North American Division that we have one logo, and that was the church logo. And the communication is that the church logo is the only approved logo for all Adventist organizations in North American Division to use. That's not totally correct. There are actually 3 other logos that have been approved. So who knows, not you, what they are? 3 logos that are approved for organizations to use aside from or along with the church logo.
Obviously,
Adventist Education.
Is it our union?
Nope.
No?
Yeah. Adventist Community Services. And what's the third one? You know this. If you were there, you just about died. Pathfinders. Okay? And the reason for that is because they are world known. You go anywhere in the world and you can find schools with our logo, with the Adventist Education logo. And the same with Community Services, right? And certainly Pathfinders. So, I will tell you, Matthew McVeigh is the one who designed this logo 20-some years ago. He also bleeds Adventist Education through design. And that's one of the neat things about AE Connect and our website and our marketing things, because it all works through that designer, and so it has the same look and feel. The other thing, so if you're interested here, and by the way, on the NAD Communications website, they will be adding a link to our brand standards, to our logo, so that you can rest assured when you're talking with your schools that the Adventist Education logo is approved to use for marketing and on letterhead and whatnot, if you want to. The other thing that's here in our schools are marketing tools. And so we have several things here that you are welcome to use. There are sermons, if and when you're ever asked to do an education sermon and you don't want to ask AI, because AI does wonderful things. All right, so that's the schools, because it's about schools. Early childhood obviously is just specific to early childhood, and so there's information there. Multigrade, how many of you are familiar with a Lifeline? So the Lifeline was something that was about this fat that was very outdated, and it was a lifeline survival for small schools. We have looked at that and totally redone that. It's not even going to be able to be printed in its entirety because things change so much. The printed one that was available on our website up until about a month ago still referred to paper pencil attendance, still referred to CD-ROM. Do we have kids who even know what that is? So this way, we can keep things current all the time. And if we have a change to a website, we can just update that right on the fly. So this is really key for multigrade, for multigrade teachers. This is the multigrade site, and you'll see the kinds of things that we have here. But what I want to point out to you is this one, the sample forms. Is that where I put them? No, I didn't. Well, yeah. So there are all kinds, the pacing guides are here that are in the process of being reworked, by the way, but there are all kinds of sample forms. So I know this is really small, but there's technology plans, there's board meeting agendas, and they're all sample on them. So that a school has to do something with it. They're Word files, you can download them and do your edits. But this way, the small school teacher or teaching principal doesn't have to go in and start from scratch. There's something here. When you go to the Lifeline, here, did I put it? Nope. So when I go to the Lifeline, and I can look at checklists, and these are, remember this is in process. So checklists for success. And so these are all web things that the teacher can download and check off. We have checklists for the teaching principal and also for the classroom teacher. So this one is my favorite, data roll-up, schedule of tasks. So that's pretty good. So that's multigrade. Curriculum still has, anytime you have an arrow that's pointing out, that's still linking to an external microsite. We're in the process of bringing those in under the main website. But this is where you'll find the textbook list for ordering for all our elementary curriculum. You'll see the elementary and the secondary standards and textbook lists, and then you'll see all the core major subject website resources. I want to just show you this one, the visual arts. Our websites are meant to inspire. When the Digital Strategies Committee looked at all the 500-some websites, they're like, this doesn't even have the same unique, look and feel of an NAD site. And I'm saying, excuse me, we don't want ours to look like that, because ours are meant to inspire. So when you look at this fine art site, and I'm showing this to you because if you're at a school that struggles with finding art teachers or maybe art classes, or want to share with your small schools, this one here has some really, really good integrations, but if you look at lesson plans, you'll see that there are art lessons for Adventist Heritage, and also seasonal lessons. There's some, Ruth referenced the teacher bulletin. There are links there to some art units. And then up here, it takes you to Adventist fine artists so that you can share with your students about well-known artists like Nathan Green, who went to Cedar Lake, now Great Lakes, right? Because my sister taught him. But it takes you right to his work, his website, and these others. And then also, there are art professions. So again, meant to inspire. So you have students in your classroom who have an artistic intuitive about art. And so you can talk to them about being going into culinary art, and you can go here. And so these are people that we've interviewed and gotten their information because they've made art into their career. We also have one for music, and I'll just show you that because I know that music and art are areas that our small schools struggle with. But with music, we have the curriculum here as well. And when you go over here to the menu, you'll see that we have lower level and upper level information. Carol Swinier, I don't know how many of you remember Carol. Carol was here in the area for many years, but she actually wrote a lot of this content. There are chimes, there are audio files, and all kinds of things that you can use for your students. And then the last section is educators. So a question for you. The first one here is AE Tech. Who knows what AE Tech is and you can't answer? So what's AE Tech? Wow.
It's the technology department, right?
No. It was close. How many of you know what TDEC is? What's TDEC? That's the meetings Ben goes to. Okay.
And it's coming up soon.
And it's coming up soon, October. So TDEC was around for quite some time, and it actually stood for Technology Distance Education Committee. And it was made up of 9 individuals, 1 individual from each union, plus myself being the person at the division, and the secondary director of education, which now is Stephen Brawley, and also the director for IT services at the North American division. We've changed the name to AE Tech because TDEC didn't fit what we do anymore. And so we're the AE Tech Committee, Adventist Education Technology, but it represents all of our unions. And so when you go here to AE Tech, and yes, Jeannie said that Ben goes because we do have, LaRonda used to go, and before that Elaine went, for the distance ed. Right? And back in the day, we did do that. We would look at things like Syracuse. I can't remember the whole, but we would look at curriculum, Abeka, and we would say, no, our school should not be using this. But we've moved away. We still manage distance learning, but we've grown to, they're really my advisory group. And I talk with them about different resources to vet for discounts, to negotiate discounts. We're now merging with the technology, we're not merging. We are joining the Technology Standards Committee, which is made up of all the IT professionals across the division who want to be part of that, at the conference level, the union level, and the school level, and there are some other churches, large churches who send representatives. But we talk about things that are important for safety. Risk management comes and makes a presentation about cyber safety and, and the importance of cyber insurance and educating your teachers and your students about internet use and such. So we do a lot more than distance ed, but when you go here to see about AE Tech, you'll see that, oh, who are our people from Lake Union? Ruth and Nicole are your AE Tech reps. And so what that means is they are your conduit to information on resources. We're part of a consortium called OETC, and that gets us discounted software on Adobe and Microsoft products, also some hardware. And so if you're looking for new equipment or software licensing or things, or want to know questions about resources, now Ruth has to do more homework. But contact Ruth and Nicole are your AE Tech representatives. Ben also is incredibly helpful when it comes to all kinds of things about tech, and so I often will send him emails when I don't know the answer. So AE Tech, this is where you will see here discounted resources, and your schools can still order all of these things at a discount. The price, if you remembered, we had a store, an online store, where schools could go in and pay with a credit card. The bottom line is I could not manage it anymore. It came right at the time of opening reports and the start of school, and my dogs told me that they couldn't keep up with the work anymore. And so we also were losing a lot of money because we never charged to make money. And so the division asked us to take a look at it. So when we stopped the store, then we no longer aggregate all the orders. And so obviously we don't get as good discounts. And I apologize for that. It took a long time for me to make that decision. But we still do get discounts. We're working at larger ones for Lightspeed, which is filtering. One of the ways and I know it's time to take a break, and I'll finish here. One of the things that I actually do is a lot of witnessing about our system when I talk with reps. I show them our map of the North American Division and the territory. I explain to them about our unions and our conferences and how we have 55% of our schools as small schools, and how sometimes, like I think last year, we had 100 schools that had enrollment of 10 and less. And so when they come back and say, well, we're going to have to give you a $1,000 minimum, I just say, it's not going to happen. We can't do it. And so we've had some really good conversations, and I think it's been interesting for them. So you never know how you're going to witness, where or when. So other things on here, you'll see there's links right to the curriculum timelines, handbooks and manuals. We just have released in May, it was voted the new handbook for, which one was May? Principals or superintendents? Principals. And in September, we'll be bringing the handbook for superintendents to be voted, the new updates. You'll see other things here. I see manual for school boards. There are new ALC courses that are being launched this fall for school boards, for school board chairs, and for school board members. But you'll see this is where our administrative resources went, all those administrator things there, the different files. Yeah. So, how long is our break? Like 3 minutes? And it started at 10:45? Yeah. So we come back at 11? Okay. I'll rest my voice and have a break, and then we're going to dive deeper into dashboard data rollup.